Good afternoon. My name is Christopher Almeida, and I've been a chef for 20 years. Welcome to my kitchen. I love lobsters. Don't you? Well, if you don't, then don't listen. But if you do, let me teach you how to buy the right lobster, cook the right lobster, and cut the right lobster so that your friends and family enjoy lobsters. According to the Journal of Commerce, right now is the best time to buy a lobster. Right now, they're the cheapest they've been in 25 years. If you want to learn how to buy them, we're going to look at how the Louisville magazine teaches you to buy them. So when you go to a grocery store or a restaurant and you see the tank full of lobsters and there's the guy sitting in the corner and he's kind of doing this, or the guy sitting in the corner doing this, which one do you want? Well, you want this guy. The guy who's got his arms out, his legs out, and he's all angry, right? Because that guy is the freshest lobster you can get. And Louisville magazine tells you that's the one you want to eat. So we're going to talk about the best way to buy them. Well, buy them fresh, cook them at home, right? So when you get them home, how do you cook them? Well, according to the Sailor's Dairy, you want to boil the lobster, and cooking them is hard, right? It seems hard. Everybody else seems hard. The restaurant charges you a lot of money. Well, the easiest way to cook the lobster is to take the lobster, put them in head first, and let them boil, right? It takes 12 to 15 minutes to cook the right lobster. So the reason you put them in head first is you want them to die the quickest way possible. If they die the quickest way possible, the meat is the most tender, the juiciest, and it's the most humane way to kill a lobster. Okay, so we're going to get our lobster out. He's been cooking about 12 or 15 minutes. We're going to pull him out. He's all bright and red and look kind of sexy like me, right? Sexy like me. And we're going to put him on our cutting board. So you're going to bring him over here, put him on your cutting board. Now this is the key part. When you're cooking your lobster, you want to pull the tail off first, because you don't want the tail to be hard and easy to mess with. The second part is you're going to cut the rubber bands off. You're going to cut on both claws. Okay? Then you're going to pull the claws off. Just like that. Now, this is a trick that most chefs don't teach you, and you don't see it anywhere else. But you want to pull the claw away like that. And then you want to split the claw with the back of your knife. This opens the claw so you can get all the lobster meat out of there. This is the best part of it. Okay? Most of us think the tail is the best part, but this has the most flavor. See? So we're going to do the same thing with the second claw. We're going to pull the claw out. See how the claw came out whole? That's really important, because if the claw comes out whole, it's the best way it can be, and it's ready to go. Last thing you want to do is take your tail, and you're going to split the tail down the middle and open it up. And now if you're going to cook your tail again because you think it's not cooked enough, you can do it on a grill or different ways. But if it looks like this, where it's opaque all the way through, this is a perfect tail. It's not hard, it's not soft, it's a perfect way to eat a tail. This is the best way to eat your lobster meat. So, as we talk about this, we've learned that there's different ways to buy a lobster, there's different ways to cook a lobster, there's different ways to eat a lobster. But one of the things we always have to remember is lobster is an indulgent food. Most people don't get to eat lobsters on a daily basis. Most people don't get to cook lobsters on a daily basis. And cutting the lobster is key to how you enjoy the lobster. So if you learn how to do these skills correctly and accurately, you will have a phenomenal experience, and you can delight your family, friends, and spouses as to how your cooking skills begin. The other thing to remember is to look at the lobster that you're buying, because if you're buying a lobster from Maine or Canada, it's a great lobster. If you're buying a lobster from Florida or the Caribbean, they're called spiny lobsters, and they're not really lobsters. I know we haven't talked about them before, but keep that in mind as you're dining out or cooking for your family and friends, because the lobsters I've shown you tonight and shown you how to cook are all Maine lobsters or Canadian lobsters, which are cold water and the best way to eat a lobster.